Okay, can anybody tell me where I am right now? Anybody? Look, let me give you a hint. Let's see. Big house. Crazy big house. And I'll give you another hint. Palm trees. Lots of palm trees. Lots of beautiful palm trees. And crazy big house. Anybody? You give up? Okay, I'll tell you. I'm at Sarah's house. And Sarah, well, she went on a building binge way back in the late 1800s because she had a lot of money because her husband was the heir to the Winchester rifle fortune, the gun that won the West. It's not such a politically correct thing to say today that gun won the West, because that infers that someone lost the West, which is a real sad story. Anyway, so they don't really promote that anymore, that slogan. But I am at the Winchester Mystery House down in San Jose, and Sarah had some tough luck. I believe her husband died and her kid died, and she was freaking out, and she was a little superstitious, and so she talked to like a fortune teller, and fortune teller told her that she needed to outwit the ghosts and confuse the ghosts, and the way she could do that was to continually build onto her already giant house and just keep construction going. Construction went on this place for like 25 years or something, nonstop, except on Christmas Day. That was the only day that they didn't have workers here for like a really long time. And so now there's this huge, crazy house. But that's not what we're going to talk about. I'm sure that's really cool and all that. You got to come down and see that just for that. But what I am obsessed about, as you well know, are palm trees. Look at this. So Sarah planted all these really old palms. Shows you how long these trees will survive. That's a canary palm. I can't even get back far enough to get that into a frame. So that was planted probably in 1860, 1880. Gosh, still can't get it in a frame. Got to go all the way back to the edge of the property here. So anyway, longevity of palms, they're pretty remarkable. You just keep going and going and going. Except that the reason I was originally brought out here was because she had planted 13 palms here. There's 7 on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then on this side, there's one less because there's a road over there. There are 6. So that's exactly 13 because she was trying to scare away the ghosts or whatever. And that's how many she planted. So originally, the trees that were here were the California fan palm, which is probably a bit more regal than what's here now. But the problem is that it gets a disease called black diamond scale, and it was killing all of the trees. And that disease happens when you're near the bay and the humidity is high and the temperatures are low. The fungus takes off. The fungus is actually in its habitat in the desert, but it's so hot and dry there that it doesn't affect it. This tree is remarkably vigorous considering it's a California fan palm and it's here. All the others along here were dying out, so I was hired to take them all out. Most of them were already dead. The other ones were struggling, and replace them with hybrid California fan palms with Mexican fan palm blood. The Mexican fan palm is native to the coast of Baja, where it's more humid, and so for whatever reason it doesn't get this problem. And but they still have a little bit of California fan palm blood in them, so that we get a fatter trunk and more impressive head size, which is what we have on these trees here. You can see we have them trimmed up really nice. I manage this bunch of palms down here, and so you need to come down here and see it. Tell hello to Walter. He's the manager. If you see him, he came up from Disneyland. So this place is really starting to look good. Disneyland quality. Michael takes care of all the plants here, and I help with the palm trees. But anyway, 13 Mexican fan palms that are hybridized with California fan palm. That's what we put in here. These trees are really taking off and looking good. There was a movie made about the place, and we had to get these palms in before the movie shot. And so we got them in just in time. I lived on the out in the back in a parking lot for 4 days in my van. I worked from the time the sun came up to the time the sun came down. I went over there, watched a bunch of sports games, drank a bunch of beer, and had a bunch of burgers at night. Didn't have to drive home so I could drink some beers. That was kind of fun. Sleep in my van, wake up and work the next day. And then this is what we ended up with. Now over here, real quick, educational tour. I just gave a nice video, created a nice video on crepe myrtle, so I won't talk about the crepe myrtle, but talked about the canary palm a little bit. These are Guadalupe fan palms. The two on the flanks that are shorter are Guadalupe fan palms. Those are some of the tallest Guadalupe fan palms I've ever seen. They're probably, this one here is probably 35 feet tall. And the one next to it is nearly as tall, probably about 32, 31. But that's from a little island off Baja. I really need to do a video dedicated to this tree because it's the most remarkable plant. It's actually on the endangered species list because goats are eating all the babies. And anyway, it's a long story. But look for Guadalupe fan palm video. I'll find a nice tree. These are all right, but they're kind of, since they're trimmed back heavily, they're not as pretty as I would like for a video for that. But California fan palm in the middle, Guadalupe fan palm in the flanks, and hybrid Washingtonia robusta folifera hybrid right here on the row of 13. When you come down here, tell them the palm tree guy Gary sent you.